What's up, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Smash Factor. It's your host, Alex Wober, and it's official. The 2025 Ultimate Long Drive World Championships have wrapped up in Western Columbia, South Carolina at the Partee Golf Center. And the drives were, of course, flying off the planet. No hurricane this year, thankfully, just some wild left to right wind. But hey, nobody said that this was easy. 4 straight days of competition, every division, every age, and every skill level battling. We've got our full championship rundown. Let's thank our great sponsors before we hop into that rundown here at Ultimate Long Drive. Let's thank Legacy Copper Tech, the official glove of ULD, Tech, Buzz Clear, Short Par 4, 1764 Apparel, Yingling Brewing, In Range, GOLFJOY, Survivor Tees, Shark Attack Golf, Catalyst, T-Claw, and 4 Yards More. Day 1, the grid belonged to the seniors. Representing Team Canada in their 7 total wins at the championships, Melissa Smith picked up their first win of the week in the women's 55 amateur division with a drive of 279 yards. Moving over into the men's 70 amateur and 70 pro divisions, Tom Tucker earned a 2-for-1 deal, taking home dubs with drives of 282 and 297 yards. In the men's 65 amateur, Robert Sterner punched in a win with a 269-yard drive, while Doug Miller won yet another world championship in the men's 65 pro with a distance of 282 yards. The men's 60 amateur division witnessed Mr. Gary Ramirez win yet another world championship with a drive of 336 yards. P.S. He's looking for a three-peat next year, so watch out. Scott Mills had an emotional win in the men's 60 pro division as he pulled in a 314-yard drive for the belt. Along with Tom Tucker on day 1, Mark Stone King was also victorious in 2 division championships, the men's 55 amateur and the men's 55 pro. Stone King's posted winning drives were 336 in the amateur and 325 in the pro. Those senior sticks set the tone for an unforgettable week in West Columbia. So let's continue with the Masters division on Thursday. Now, Thursday was all about precision and power from the Masters field. Starting with the ladies, Michelle Scanlon earned the win in the women's 50 amateur division with a drive of 223 yards. Fareen Samji picked up Canada's second win of the week in the women's 50 pro division, driving her longest at 285 yards. Tatiana Thurston was the winner of the women's 45 amateur division with a crisp 246-yard ball. And Randy Myers added to Canada's win total yet again with the third win of the week, smoking her longest ball at 286 yards in the women's 40 amateur division. Rounding out the women's divisions, Adriana McDonald, former Gamecock and All-SEC 2 times, grabbed her first 2 wins this week in the women's 40 pro division with a 299-yard bomb. And yes, it was unfortunate. She was sad that she didn't get to that 300-yard mark, but stay tuned for what happens later. The men's division brought out some of the tightest finishes of the championship week, starting with our first 3-time champion of the week, and that is Mark Stone King, capturing the men's 50 pro division with his best drive of the week at 353 yards against the legendary Jeff Crittenden. Glenn Spry was also tested as he faced Mark Stone King in the men's 50 amateur division, where Stone King was eyeing a 4th win this week. Spry edged out Stone King by 2 yards with a drive of 314 yards and also added to Canada's win total to 4 on the week. Moving down to the men's 45 amateur division, Ernie Guimond rose to championship status with a 323-yard drive representing the Coastal Carolinas League. Jason Cook brought back South Africa a championship as well in the men's 45 pro division with a 337-yard cooker. In a stacked division, as I might say. Zach Valdick brought out the beast with a win in the men's 40 amateur division, sending his longest ball 342 yards. Capping off Thursday, the legend himself, multi-world champion, and the first person to hit a golf ball over Niagara Falls, that's right, Maurice Allen, had the longest ball in the men's 40 pro division with a drive of 356 yards. Tell me right now, are you not entertained from what you have heard? And if you didn't get out to the Ultimate Long Drive World Championships this year, go ahead and mark your calendars for next year because you're going to want to see this action in person with your own eyes, trust me. Let's quickly go over who advanced on day 3 to the next rounds. Let's not forget as well to add in that we did crown our season-long points champions as well, with James Barnett winning the Open Points title, Jennifer White winning the Women's Points title, and Ulysses White securing the chain in the Senior Points title. Friday turned into a fireworks show, of course. The Open Men's Amateur field was stacked, as you see here, with Timothy Buchek, Jansen McBride, and Harrison Pearson in the top three with 360-yard-plus drives. The Open Men's Pro Top 16 was also set with some impressive distances. Clearly, Jacob Molnar with what I believe was the longest ball of the whole week at 392 yards. Harrison Pearson's first year as well competing in the Open Men's divisions, well, he surpassed expectations surely with an insane 390-yard ball to get him into the next round. The men's 35 amateur and pro divisions cut their fields down to 8, with the amateur's longest drive coming in at 379 yards from Kenny Held. And the pro division had Maurice Allen at the top of the bracket with a drive of 382 yards, with Naoto Masumi behind Allen with 380. Checking out the women's divisions, Randy Myers secured her second championship of the week, adding Canada's fifth win on the week in the women's 35 amateur as she drove her longest ball, 285 yards. We also narrowed down the Open Women's fields down to 4 before Saturday night, and in the Open Women's Amateur, Sophia Arthur, Manami Kawashima, Shy Moore, and Randy Myers advanced. In the Open Women's Pro, Adrian McDonald, Sophia Arthur, Melissa Steck, and Michelle Scanlon moved on to Saturday night. Now let's get into Saturday night. Let's check it out. What do we have? Because trust me, it was exciting to see. Saturday was the grand finale, of course. Youth, Adaptive, Junior, Valor, Men's 35 Amateur and Pro, Open Men Amateur and Pro, and Open Women Amateur and Pro. From U7 girls to U17 boys, the future of long drive was on full display. Beginning in the U7 girls division, Addison Garvey and Sadie Ray Bruce were crowned winners, with Garvey at 132 yards and Bruce at 96. For the U7 boys, Liam Norman won another world championship, with his longest drive coming in at 160 yards. Maya Burgess and Jordan Carroll went home as champions as well in the U9 girls divisions, with Burgess and Carroll both coming in at 169 yards. Burgess adding to Canada's win total with 6 as well. Darian Bell secured the U9 boys division with a drive of 200 yards on the dot. For the U13 girls division, Isabella Hoffmeister finished with an impressive 242 yards. Tyler Garvey also came in big on Saturday, winning his title with a 299-yard drive. It's truly impressive at his age from all these hitters, just to see the sport grow and to even put myself to shame as I can't hit it further than some of these kids. Manami Kawashima has a 2-time winning Saturday morning, taking home the U15 and U17 girls divisions with drives of 295 and 297 for Team Japan. Callum Mucklow was a champion for a second year in a row as well in the U15 boys division, hitting his longest ball 303 yards. Luis Yanamoto was another champion for the second year in a row, winning the U17 boys division with a smashing drive of 347 yards. Included in our adaptive champions, Henry O'Grady came in at 206 yards, Charles Napinski at 177, and James Barnett at 337. Next up, with our Valor hitters, they inspired the crowd with grit, speed, and heart. Troy Teal took down some tough competition to take home the Valor Championship for a second year in a row at 335 yards. In the Senior Valor division, Kevin Bateman did the same thing as Teal, bringing home the championship for a second year in a row with a drive of 329 yards in a hit-off with Robert Saucier. Before we got to the finals under the lights, we narrowed down the Open Men Amateur and Pro, as well as the Men's 35 Amateur and Pro. The Men's 35 Amateur featured a stout lineup of reigning champion Hank Parks, Kenny Held, Jarrett Myers, and Matt Carroll. The Men's 35 Pro saw Kenta Suzuki, Naoto Masumi, Maurice Allen, and Alan Peak advance to the finals. Over in the Open Men's division, though, the Open Men's Amateur top 4 included 3 Canadians and a Michigan League rep. Ian Burgess, Jarrett Myers, Jared Golightly, and Mac McDonald. The top 4 over in the Open Men's Pro featured Maurice Allen, Naoto Masumi, Jared Golightly, and Trahern McGill. The finals under the lights were truly epic and an edge-of-the-seat competition, first featuring a big win for Sophia Arthur in the Open Women's Amateur with a drive of 307 yards to beat the young Kawashima. Adriana McDonald put her power on display to prevent Sophia Arthur from getting a second championship, taking home the Open Women's Pro belt with a drive of 315 yards. See, she knew she was going to get over that 300-yard mark. Hank Parks did what Hank Parks does best: win titles and rip his shirt. I'm not going to do that, but rip his shirt off. Parks took home the men's 35 amateur belt for a second year in a row with a drive of 358 yards in an emotional victory for himself. Canada added their 7th title of the week, with Jarrett Myers taking home the Open Men's Amateur with a drive of 364 yards and a tasty Yingling beer bath after the win. Naoto Masumi was the talk of the night for a second year in a row, taking home the men's 35 Pro Division with a drive of 381 yards, then turning around to secure the Open Men's Pro belt with a drive of 371 yards, which he dedicated to his loved one. Well, everybody, that's a wrap on an unforgettable week that happened in West Columbia, South Carolina for the 2025 ULD World Championships. Before we sign off, we want to take a moment to say thank you, because events like this just don't happen without a team effort. To our incredible fans, both here on site and tuning in from around the world, thank you for bringing the energy, the noise, and the passion that fuels every single swing. To our event staff, volunteers, and production crews, your long hours, dedication, and attention to detail made this championship run like clockwork. A huge shout out to the Partee Golf Center for hosting us once again on one of the best grids in the game, and to Experience Columbia, South Carolina for showing the world why this city is a great home for long drive. To our partners and sponsors, from our tech innovators like GOLFJOY and InRange to brands like Peluva and Yingling, and the many companies who support our hitters year-round, we could not do this without you. And finally, to every single competitor who stepped onto that grid this week, last week, thank you for your heart, your power, and your sportsmanship. You are the reason that this sport continues to grow and inspire year after year after year. From all of us here at Ultimate Long Drive, thank you for making this season unforgettable. We'll see you as soon as we gear up for an even bigger 2025-26 season. Until then, keep swinging big, stay humble, and we'll see you next time, because right here on Smash Factor, you'll get full results, competition schedules, and if you have any questions, head to ultimatelongdrive.com. I'm Alex Wober. This is Smash Factor, and we'll see you back on the tee box very soon.